Welcome back, everybody. We got some stuff happening, so let's talk about this. So, Kamala Lala, she came out and she conceded the election for President-elect Trump. She had a 12-minute speech. It was supposed to kick off at 2:30, didn't kick off till almost 4. Said that she made a phone call to President Trump, President-elect Trump, and congratulated him on his win, and she told him that there would be a peaceful transition of power and that she's conceding the election. So that's good. That's good. And I'll be completely honest with you. Her speech, though very short, and she rambled on after the first couple of minutes. She rambled on about hope and you know other stuff. But anyway, a lot of stuff that didn't really ring anything with me. So I'm not going to really cover the last half of her speech. I'm just going to cover the first half of it, and where she did actually concede. And I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't think it was a bad speech. To be completely honest, I thought it was pretty good. It was a lot better than when Hillary conceded back in 16. I'll give her that. And you know, well, we'll take a look at it. Y'all can let me know. Let me bring it up here. I should have had this ready already, but I didn't. So here we go. Anyway, check this out. Like I said, I thought it was pretty good. You can let me know what you think. Like, I thought it was pretty good for a concession speech. I thought it was all right. Like I said, better than Hillary Clinton's back in 16. So
let me say, my heart is full today. My heart is full today, full of gratitude for the trust you have placed in me, full of love for our country, and full of resolve. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright.
see, so far so good. I mean, right? I mean, not too bad. Really. I mean, I've seen a lot worse as far as concession speeches go. So not too bad. Take a look at the next one.
Now, I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny. And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it.
Yeah, I agree. So, like I said, nothing wrong with all that so far. So, we'll go on to the next one.
While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign. The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness, and the dignity of all people. A fight for the ideals at the heart of our nation, the ideals that reflect America at our best. That is a fight I will never give up.
Okay, so look, she's pissed. You can tell. I mean, and she just lost the election. I don't know. I mean, is she genuine? I don't know. I can't really tell. I can tell she's mad, but she just lost an election, so That's to be expected, I guess. I thought it was a decent speech. I'll be to be completely honest and give her a little bit of credit there. I thought it was a good speech. She came out. She said she was gonna she conceded the election. Said she doesn't concede the the fight that was fueling the campaign, but that's fine. I mean, I don't I'll be completely honest with you. I don't see her in the spotlight anymore after this. So I I don't think we'll hear too much from Kamala anymore. Maybe she'll get her own cooking show. Um, Tim Pool on Timcast IRL pointed that out. She very passionate about cooking, so maybe she'll get a cooking show. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. Maybe she'll be good at that. I'm gonna take a look at some exit polls here. This is from NBC, and take a look at these. It's kind of hard to. I don't know why it doesn't. I gotta. Okay, so this is just in men. This is the exit polls. Republican in men is 55% to the 40%, 42% for the Democrats. Women, 53% to 45% going to Republicans. And let's see, whites 41% to 57%. Blacks, which this is showing the 11% is what they make up of the population. 85% to 13%. I think this is a big one. Now you say 13% is not a lot, but it's a lot more than what he got the last time he ran and the time before. So I think he made some strides in that community, and that helped him out a lot. Now the Hispanic and the Latino vote, that I think surged a lot, and that helped him out a lot too. I mean, 46% of the Latino vote going for President Trump. That's big. That's pretty big. So, and then you got 3% of the population is Asian, and you got 39%, and then you got other at 54 and 42. So that's some of the exit polling, and I think he made really good strides as far as the other populations. White men and white women. That a lot of the news is coming out and saying that white women didn't do their part because they were running on the whole abortion thing, and white women didn't do their thing to protect it. I don't buy that. There's a lot of women that are very passionate about the abortion problem issue, not problem. But anyway, I'm gonna take a look at a couple other things. The media's they're losing it. They're losing your minds. This I don't know how to Letitia James. I don't know how to say her name. She came out and said this.
So here we are. We've studied their platforms. We've identified certain possibilities, fact patterns. We've created contingency plans. So no matter what the next administration throws at us, we're ready. We're ready to respond to their attacks. We're ready to respond to any attempts to cut or eliminate any funding to the great state of New York, as the governor outlined. So despite what has happened on the national stage, we will continue to stand tall in the face of injustice, revenge, or retribution.
She's talking about the fact that President Trump's now going to be the president again. And they're afraid of retribution because they've been in New York. They've been going after him over all kinds of crap. And they're afraid of the retribution that he could come with against them. Now, for one, he's not going to go after New York. If he does anything, which I do not think he will, it would be after the people that have come after him personally. And I don't see that happening either. So I don't know what she thinks is going to happen. I don't see him. I don't see him doing anything as far as like a vengeance campaign while he's in the presidency. I don't see it happening. He's got bigger problems to take care of. He's got a war that was started in Ukraine. He's got to deal with the Middle East, with Israel. He's got to deal with the inflation problem. He's got to deal with the southern border and the northern border and illegals coming across in droves. he's got too much crap on his plate. Getting this presidency, he's going to be busy. He's not going to have time to go after personal vendettas. He's just not. It's just not going to happen. And just to come out and say he's going to come after me and we're going to protect ourselves. It's just ignorant. He ain't got time for you. He doesn't. He's got bigger problems to take care of. I don't see it happening. And for them to, it's just, yeah. Anyway, so the media is still, like I said before, they're just they don't understand why or how this could have happened, and they're trying to explain things, and they're saying some pretty far fetched, crazy things about this, about him winning the election and how this is possible and what happened. But you got to check this other one. Look, I'm going to show you this one too. This is just crazy.
I come to elections with a sense of humility, simply because polls don't vote. People vote, and so in elections we finally get to hear what the American people have to say.
Yes.
And I've come to this election with an open mind, and I want to know what the American people have to say. What was it, 6 hours ago, I was
now you know.
by what was going on. And now I can't help but think that if this election if it proves out that the millions of people who are watching Fox News, if that ends up being the case, then I can't help but wonder if the American people have given up on democracy.
Mm-hmm. You heard him right. He wonders if the American people have given up on democracy. Are you kidding me? I'm dumbfounded, honestly. Democracy a constitutional republic democracy, you just saw in action. President Trump was duly elected by not only the Electoral College and the majority vote. That's there you go. There's what an ignorant, I don't understand how that even came out of that guy's mouth. I don't. It's just anyway, the View's going crazy too. I mean, they're saying all kinds of weird stuff over there, but we're accustomed to them losing their minds over, President Trump. So I guess it shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody, but here we go with them.
Was red.
Yeah.
It was pretty red last night.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power.
Look, she said it. We already know because he was in the office for 4 years before. We had a good economy and record low unemployment, no new wars, and his outlook for his next term was really good. COVID happened and screwed everything up, but we've already seen what 4 years of his looks like, and I'm expecting to go back to that too.
And so I worry not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future.
He's not going to do anything with that.
Especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have.
How?
And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of
Yesterday and
Look,
Oxford convicted felon.
he did not participate in an insurrection. Nobody, even the people that were wrongly arrested and put into jail, some of them are still in jail. None of them have been even charged with insurrection. They throw that around because it's a buzzword and it gets people upset. It wasn't an insurrection.
Well,
And so that box better be taken off. And I think our healthcare system is now at risk. I think
No fluoride for anyone.
Yeah, economists have made clear that
You're not funny,
he's
Joy.
going to increase the debt by $7.75 trillion. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps, and I'm also worried about Elon Musk warning.
Where's this internment camp thing coming from? Did they just pull that out of a hat? Because I'm hearing that a lot now. Where did that come from? When did mass deportation turn into internment camps? He's going to send them back to their own country. He's not going to put them in a camp.
Americans to prepare for temporary hardship. I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country.
Maybe if he picked the Jewish governor from Pennsylvania, she probably would have won Pennsylvania. But she didn't want to upset her base.
And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Ugh.
well, I think it. I think it has to do with a lot of things. That being one of them. I'm obviously very disappointed.
Miss Navarro.
I'm very sad. I was at the Kamala Harris
I used to be a
headquarters
Republican.
yesterday in Washington, and it was a very sad scene. The mood turned immediately, and I tell you, there's a quote I get a lot of inspiration from, and it's a quote that I read when I was reading about John F. Kennedy, and it says, "Whether I am on the winning or the losing side is not the point with me. It is being on the side where my sympathies lie that matters." And that to me brought me a consolation and inspiration this morning, because I have no regrets.
Yep.
I worked hard as hell to elect the first Black Asian woman president.
Did you, though?
History slipped
you?
through our
Because
fingers
you
again.
attended a couple
I
of
worked hard
rallies?
as hell for Donald Trump not to be president. But today, unlike Donald Trump and his followers, I acknowledge that he won. I hope for the best for our country, and I make a commitment to our LGBTQ, to our immigrants, to our elderly, to our young girls, to the women, that we will not stop fighting. We can be sad today.
Yeah.
Today we can be sad.
Look, I think these people are just, they're just out in left field. Because all this crap that they're worried about, nothing's going to happen. We're going to go back to normal, minus the media probably attacking President Trump a whole bunch again. That'll be fun. Other than that, nothing crazy is going to happen. It's not. These people just need to get over themselves and accept the fact that he's the president again. Nothing bad happened when he was in office the first time. Minus COVID, but that wasn't his fault. Nothing bad happened. Nothing bad's going to happen this time. We're going to go back to normal and everything's going to be fine. But these people just can't help themselves. They just can't help themselves but lose their minds over all this. And then they want to go in, they're going to go in and they're going to attack Elon Musk because who used to be, he was a darling of the left. Everybody loved him. He was the EV king. He was rich, donors, all kind of cool stuff. But now, ever since he took over, he bought out Twitter, brought back free speech onto the platform, and now everybody hates him because he actually lets people speak on the platform now. Is it perfect? No. But at least he lets people speak. I mean, it's a digital town square where people should have the right to exercise their First Amendment. And they hate him for that. They've tried to censor him. They've tried to do it to Joe Rogan. They don't want him talking to people either. It's crazy. They don't want people expressing their opinions that don't align with their own. That's the whole thing of it. That's it. Anyway. This is just them. I mean, here. y'all can listen to it for yourselves.
Think critically.
Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of
Not going to
social
get any
media.
better with Elon Musk now in the administration. I want to think.
They want to regulate. They want to regulate X, and because he says no, they can't. They cannot stand it. They can't. They cannot stand it. Now, like I said before, all these media outlets, they're trying to figure out what happened and what went wrong and how President Trump got back into office and blah 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 blah. I can tell you it's real simple. The rhetoric that y'all throw out, the crap economy, you can't expect to call somebody. You can't. Okay, the attack on Trump. He's a Nazi. He's a fascist. He's a dictator. He's a threat to democracy. It's the same thing that they did to him all the way back to his first run in 2016 to now. It's almost a full decade of the same attack line that they had on him before. You can't expect the same thing to work over and over and over and over again. You can't. It might have worked once, but it's not going to work again. That was half of their problem. The other half of the problem is, look, in every single case that a presidential, an administration rather, had bad things happening during their administration, most 9 times out of 10, they're not going to get reelected. And that was the problem with Kamala. She didn't separate herself from Biden. She had several opportunities to do so, and she couldn't do it. She had right there on The View, when she was on The View, they straight up asked her, is there anything that Biden did that you would do differently? She straight up said, I can't think of anything. That it's not only, I mean, there's a couple other things too, like, telling people that they're at the wrong rally when they say praise, Jesus is Lord. That probably had something to do with it as well. But I saw this on Twitter, and I wanted to show this because this sums it up fairly well, and I was just going to show it to you real quick. This is a guy, James Klug. Now, this is the first time I've seen this guy, but he was in New York. I think it was New York, but he was just asking people, and this lady's response was perfect.
We're going Donald Trump. Do you mind if I ask you why?
Because Kamala's a waste of time.
Fair enough. You guys New Yorkers?
I'm from Florida.
What about you,
I'm
miss?
a New Yorker, and I'm an immigrant. Loved him in 2016, loved him in 2020, and it's about time that he actually gets back in office.
This position is a little bit controversial for New York, I feel like. Perhaps I'm wrong.
It is very controversial. We saw like a few cars earlier and was towards Times Square, and it's the first time that I've ever seen liberal tears live just because somebody saw Trump flags. It was insane, but it was beautiful to see. And I think it's about time that everybody stopped talking about their effing feelings. No one cares. This is America. It's all about policy. It's about actually getting a strong leader in office, and I could care less about your joy. No one cares. I don't believe the rubbish that they put out on television. We look at what's actually happened when Trump was in office and where we were as a country, not just here, but internationally, is a very strong point. That was reality. What they're trying to resell as what Hussein did before and what everybody else did, that's the kind of America that they want, where everybody's brainwashed, has no voice, and they can dictate to you what to do. That's not a government. That's not America. That's not democracy.
Like I said, couldn't have said it better myself. Look, she said it perfectly. I completely agree. And like the smears that the media has come out every time that he said something that they could twist and put into their own words, that is why you saw what you did. That's why he's the president-elect again. So, it's pretty easy to see. And the media pundits, they can't for some reason understand why, but everybody else can see it but them. I mean, like I said, he got the majority vote plus he got the electoral vote. It's a sweep of the. Now they still haven't. Let me see here. Yeah, they still haven't called Nevada or Arizona, but he's still leading. It's it's a clean sweep of the swing states. So, anyway, that's all I got for now. If you like what you saw, hey, hit that follow, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next one. Appreciate you hanging out. And stay safe and have a great night.